Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well today, and welcome back to the Build the Enterprise D series, in which video by video I build up the Hero Collector Enterprise D model. So as I said, I hope you're all doing well. Let's not take too much time doing the introduction here, let's just delve straight into what we're looking at today. Although I will say before we get into this video almost didn't happen or was very severely delayed. The parts for this got sent out about 2 weeks ago, and they only just arrived about an hour before I started recording this, so we almost didn't have this video, and I had nothing else planned, so almost not a video this week, and I'm still trying to do one a week, even though I've missed a few times. Anyway, rambling aside, we're going to have a look at stage 43, stage 44, 45, and 46. So what we're looking at here is we've got more saucer section panels, because of course we have, but we're also finishing off a bit more decoration on the Cobra head, and there's a few other little bits and pieces for the Cobra head, I believe, just to kind of build it up that little bit more. But quite excitingly, we also have the other PCB panel for the saucer section. So with the first PCB panel, we've been able to do half of it, and with this PCB, we'll be able to do the other half. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into stage 43. Let's see what this one has to offer. Another section of the saucer comes together and lights up for the first time, while the last visible screw holes on the neck assembly are obscured. So, stage 43, straight away. We have our panel, some screws, we have some windows. I've dropped the screws on the floor already, go me. We'll deal with them in a second. What else do we have in here? It's going well so far. We have a light, more screw covers for the Cobra head, and the rest is just some decoration which we will deal with when we actually come to add them. So we know the drill by now. We pop the metal panel out, we throw that over there, because I'm that sort of person. And there isn't too many windows on here, so I reckon we may as well just get it all done in one go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So as I mentioned at the start, how's everyone doing? What's everyone been up to since the last video? I mentioned in the last video that I was going to go see Genesis at the start of October, and that has been and gone, and by God, do I feel quite lucky, because that was the last concert they did of their UK tour before postponing the rest of it due to reasons involving a certain illness that has plagued us for the last, coming up to 2 years now, isn't it? God, that's tiring. But, you know, these things unfortunately happen, and they've rearranged. I think there was one more Glasgow date after me, so you know, I got to see them in Glasgow, and then the day after the announcement went out that they were postponing it, and there were 3 London dates, and I think they've all been rearranged now. But let's talk about something a bit more positive. The show itself, it was absolutely fantastic. So, for anyone who didn't catch the last episode, just a little thing about my Genesis fandom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've been a fan of Genesis pretty much all my life. I started very, very early on. My parents had the We Can't Dance album, which I know some of you might be purist Genesis fans are going to be like, oh, it's awful. I really like that album. I think it's got a good mixture of... So I think Genesis do really, really well that maybe a few other prog bands didn't manage to do too well, is they did manage to blend the prog and pop pretty well. And We Can't Dance has a few tracks on there that I'm not a massive fan of, but it's still got some really good tracks. But that was my first Genesis album. As I got into my teens, I started to explore a bit more of Genesis. We had a DVD, which was the Way We Walk Live, and on that was something called the Old Medley. So I listened to that quite a bit, and it was all like songs from older Genesis in one big medley. I know, astounding, right? It's called the Old Medley, and it's a medley of old songs. But I would listen to bits and pieces of that, and I'd be like, okay, what song is that? And I'd see what song comprised it. So I'd be, okay, this bit is Dance on a Volcano, this bit is Further Fifth, this bit is the Musical Box. And I actually listen to the songs themselves individually. Then I would listen to the albums that they came from. So I'd be like, okay, this is from Nursery Crime, this is a bit from Foxtrot, this is from Selling England by the Pound, and this one's from Trick of the Tail, and just get into it through those methods, and I just became such a huge fan of them. I've mentioned before I'm a huge prog rock fan, and yeah, that is true. I do love my prog rock, but certain types of it, I do enjoy Yes, but I'm not what you would call a massive fan of Yes. I do enjoy some Emerson, Lake and Palmer, but again, I'm not a massive Emerson, Lake and Palmer fan. And sometimes with them, it feels like it's a bit of a competition sometimes. And it doesn't quite get me. But Genesis did. Genesis just absolutely grabbed me, and I just absolutely fell in love with that band and just what they do. Just the way they paint pictures with their words, whether it's the lyrics of Peter Gabriel or, later on Phil Collins. They both had such a knack for what they did. And the music itself just served the songs rather than feeling like it was there for some sort of musical gymnastics. So yeah, that's me with Genesis, why I like them. And yeah, I don't prefer any one era over another. I just think they're an amazing band. So I'll talk more about music after we've done this next bit, but we're on to stage B, or step B. Take the deck panel lights and slot them into the top of the deck panels on the main saucer assembly, threading the cables through the skeleton as shown. Okay. Carefully position deck panel. Alright, okay. This is going to be a fun one, because for one, I mentioned this last time, some of the way they've done this is a bit weird. But if I get the saucer assembly, so we're going to put this panel here, which I don't understand why we did this bit first and now we're doing this bit. Surely it's easier to go around that way, but whatever. We'll deal with it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly jump cut while I get that sorted, because I think this is going to be quite fiddly, going to take a bit of time. I'll see you all in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. So we're just actually fitting the screws back onto the panels now, and we should be done with this. So that was actually a lot more difficult than it needed to be. Not as hard as I thought it was going to be, but still very awkward. So what I had to do was I had to loosen up some screws on this side in order to fit the panel in, because it sort of fit in an awkward way. Then I had to kind of fit it in, and then the windows popped out, which required me to get the pair of tweezers and sort of awkwardly balance it while refitting the windows. So all in all, good job. Fun one. So I'm just getting all of these screws out and making sure the panel is actually locked in there. So it kind of goes in between it. Again, I don't understand the method of doing this one. I kind of thought it would be best to sort of fit them all sequentially. So, sort of start from one part and go all the way around like that, rather than getting to a point where we're fitting them in the middle. But I suppose this goes back to one question I did mention last time, and it's a question I've asked a lot, but when it comes to making a model kit like this, I do wonder what the process is, how they actually go about the step-by-step process of it. You know, why do they make the decisions they do? I'd love to maybe sit down with someone and find out about that. For now, though, it doesn't matter because we actually have the panel on. I was actually really worried about this particular one. Like, this was the one that was kind of, yeah, giving me some cause for concern. So we've got 2 left. Oh, we already had a screw out there. Are they all in? Do. So yeah, that bit was not as hard as I thought it was going to be, but fiddly. We've still got 3 screws left to put in, but I thought I'd come back for some. I'll show you that we got it. The worst bit was getting the windows back in, because what kind of happens is it tells you to slot it under the panel to the right. So you have to bring it in at an angle, and then you have to drop it down on the other side. And that was awkward. But what happens during that bit is sometimes the windows bloody pop out. So I had windows like come out and fall on the floor and sort of in between the panels, so I had to get in with the tweezers to get them out. Then I had to sort of get down my hands and knees between the desk and have a look at where they lined up. And oh, if you get frustrated easy, which, you know, I don't get frustrated easy at all. Never. He lies. My frustration always comes with video games, which is a shame because it's a medium I absolutely love. Or opening small bags of screws. There we go. We need 3 of these ones, so 1, 2, and 3. And of course, a big hello to all of the regulars. Your comments each video are really, really well appreciated. Always enjoy hearing from you about your progress on this, where you're up to, whether you're waiting for new parts, or whether you're planning on modding stuff. It's always nice to kind of see new people joining in on this journey. So I've rambled quite a lot about non-Trek stuff. There we go, the panel. The panel's on. There we go. Wonderful. So, I'll test that later. What we're going to do now, we're going to get rid of the saucer section. Let's have a look at how it looks underneath. Well, on top, sorry. So, there it is there. And you can see all of the windows are in. And it fits flush. So now we have a really nice run round. Look at that. That's absolutely gorgeous. I absolutely love the Galaxy class ship. There's a touch of nostalgia about it, but it is just such a beautiful ship design, and always just love the separation mechanic. So, here we go, we're on to the final little bit here. So what we've got is we're just going to place some stickers here and there. Something nice and simple. So it's pretty much just matching up where they go on there. So we've got that back bit here. We take off the backing. This is the tough bit. This is the actual fiddly bit. And we're just going to match things up to where they go. So what Trek related things have y'all been doing aside from this model? What, have you been playing any Trek games, any books, been watching any of the shows? I have actually finally started sitting down to watch the next series of Lower Decks. And much like the first series, I absolutely love it. It's been really, really good so far. Very funny, and just a really good cast of characters and moments in there. I kind of like, and I've said this before, what I really like about it is that it is a funny show. And it does take the mick out of Trek, but it does it from like a place of respect for Trek. It feels like the writers, you know, they've got all these little references and they use aliens and races from the history of Star Trek. So it comes from this really nice place of love, which I think sometimes all of the best parodies or Mickey takes of things do. It comes from, I absolutely love this genre, but I want to take the mick a little bit. I want to sort of change, like, you know, subvert expectations of what you have in it. And I think Lower Decks has done a really good job of doing that so far. It sort of, you know, it pays homage to a lot of Trek, whilst also sending it up in its own little way. And you get something at the end that feels very much like Star Trek. So yeah, been really, really enjoying that. I've been reading quite a lot of Trek books lately. I read the Q Continuum series, which I really enjoyed. It was nice to kind of have a book focused on seeing a bit of Q's history, actually. That was fun. These stickers are a bit weird. They don't come down brilliantly. I might have to get a bit of super glue for that. Well, there we go. We got that in there. And we got some final ones here. Doesn't help when things don't want to come out of the bag. So that's, yeah, my Trek related stuff. I've been working on my, I think I've mentioned this before, but I am writing a sort of Trek Evangelion mix-up fanfic at the moment. Sort of takes the characters and concept of Evangelion, so the characters like Shinji, Asuka, Masato, and it places that in the Star Trek universe. So you've got like the Evangelions exist in a certain way, you've got Nerve exists in a certain way, but it's all within context of Star Trek, instead of it being like one of those sort of straight crossover type things you might see. And that's on its 9th chapter, released online. I can drop a link to that in the description, actually. Now I've said that, I'll probably forget, but yeah, I can do that. So then we've got a few more things left to do. We've got that one to pop it in. Yeah, I'm going to get a bit of super glue to get that down, because that's really weird. We got this one to go over there. And what I'll do is, the rest of it's just screw hole covers. I'll do that off camera in my own time, because that is really not very exciting. But, as you can see, what we've got there is we need some super glue for that, but we have the Cobra head. Pretty much nearly done. I think there's a bit more for that. But that is stage 43 complete. So I shall see you in a few moments for stage 44. Okay, so welcome back, stage 44. So here, what we're doing now, in this short stage of the build, you will build and fit a saucer deck section with 2 reflectors and add further detail to the battle section. We're still not done with the battle section. Also, in the previous part I mentioned I'd put them little screw covers in. Turns out I'd already done that back in the last issue. They gave like duplicate ones, so I kind of already did that. So it was already done. Not that it matters. So here we go. Let's just start doing this very, very quickly. Take the deck panel, insert 2 escape pod covers, red line furthest away from the narrow edge. I can do that. I actually remembered this time to get myself a drink while I'm recording. So I've got a thing of water just off camera. It's all the little details you don't really need to know or care about, but I really enjoy making these videos and just having the opportunity to kind of chill and chat a bit, and hopefully people who watch this enjoy them for that. I've always said from the very, very beginning of these videos that this isn't like an expert or pro level build or anything. This is my first time doing this. So it's been a journey so far over the last, God, how many months? It must be about 10 months now. Because we got issues 1 and 2 together. And since then it's been like 1 issue a month, has it not? Something like that. There's been plenty of videos of it, because sometimes I've split issues into parts. So you've been getting like a couple of videos a month, maybe. 2, 3, 4. But generally, yeah, we've been at this for 10 months. That's mad. And I've seen the channel grow a little bit. I reached my target of... I set out to have a target of 100 subs by the end of the year, and I'm nearly at 300, which is just sort of amazing to me. And I know that's like, in the grand scheme of things on YouTube, that's absolutely tiny. But I'm very proud of that, because even though I know necessarily not every one of them subs watches these videos, otherwise we'd have like 300 views per video, which we don't. We get about 100 to 200, which I'm very thankful for. But it's still the fact that I've managed to get, you know, that number of people to take notice and click that sub button, which I'm very happy with that. And, you know, hopefully it'll continue to grow next year. So I'm very thankful to you all for doing that. And for anyone who has taken the time to share it and tell other people. For anyone who's found this through the Enterprise D group. There we go. Right, so we're done with that. Let's open up the required screws already. So I need quite a few of these actually. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay, so what we want okay, so this looks like it's going to be a bit of a fun one. So we want the it says place the reflector panel on the deck panel as shown. Take the deck panel lights and slot both bulbs into the reflector panels, then secure them using the screws. Well, we don't necessarily do it quite like that, but we do want them in place. So we want to get that like that, and then we can secure that into place. One thing that really boggles my mind about this, just to keep on with like the subscription things, I know at least one of the subscribers out there watches this on their TV. And it's like the fact that someone is watching me on a television, and that's really, really weird. But it's really it's really cool. That's kind of why next year I want to do more. I do want to appear more in front of the camera next year, and hopefully I'll get a setup that allows for that. My main thing at first is getting a green screen. I've seen one, but it costs quite a bit of money, and this channel doesn't make money. You know, it's never the aim. Just in case, you know, there is no aim for this channel to ever make money. I have a decent enough job that allows me to do my hobbies as I want to. But a bit of extra, you know, wouldn't go amiss. So we've got that one down now. I can't believe the trouble we used to have getting these LEDs down. It's just sort of a contrast now It's all about confidence, though. Like with anything, you know, when you start out, you are a bit tentative. You're a bit like, oh, I'm not quite sure how to do this. But then the more you do it, the more confident you get. And I think with like doing a build like this, you gain confidence the more you do it in terms of handling it. You know exactly what it can take. Because I think at first you're like, oh, will I break it? And then as time goes on, you go, well, actually, no, I won't, unless I'm being absolutely deliberately rough with it. There we go, though. Another deck panel done. So very, very short, very easy. We're going to get that onto the Enterprise itself. So let me just clear up a little bit here. And what screws do we need there? We need the BM ones again. Let me prep that in advance. We need 2. And right on Oscar's hair there. So let's get the bridge, well, the saucer. And what we are going to do is going to find out where we need to put this one. I think we already knew where this one was going to go from the last issue, didn't we? This is going to go here, and that's going to go through there, like this. And that is going to clip far easier said than done, isn't it? That's going to clip under there like that. See, it's not fully in there yet. This is one of the problems we had with it last time, but what we want to do, let's just flip it over in prep. I can see why. I can see why that might not want to come fully. So let me just line that up. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, what we need to do, let's get it back on this side then. Okay, so here's what we're thinking, is that once we've got that screwed in, that should just ease up a little bit. That's the hope, anyway. Let's just give that a go. And kind of see, I knew we'd have a little bit of a problem like this eventually. Because we've had it with a few of these metallic panels. They tend to be quite awkward. But then it tends to be the case that once you've started once you start screwing them into place, that's when they That's when you get your results. So let's just get that a little bit into place. There it is. Let's clear the space there and get the other screw. So many screws right now, it is very, very hard to see it all. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of pushing it from the other side, hoping that that'll catch. And it's not, unfortunately. What I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly jump cut so we can get on this and see what's going wrong. So I'll see you in a second. And about 20 minutes later, welcome back everyone. You know that Voyager episode, Year of Hell, in which they, where they just go through an entire year of like temporal anomalies because of that Krenim time ship, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and goes on for a year. That was about 20 minutes of hell in getting this panel on, because it just wouldn't go in properly. It was a very similar issue to, I believe, this panel here, in that you just couldn't get it to slot in properly. It was just very, very awkward. But we got there eventually, and it's in, and it's done, and I never have to do that again. There was no trick to that, unfortunately. It was just very much a case of taking it off, repositioning it, trying to put it back on, trying to slot it in the correct way. I wish there was a trick to it so I could give you all advice when it comes to yourselves having to do it. But unfortunately, none forthcoming. Just be patient, take it off, reposition it. Try to go from, I would say try to put it on from this side first, and then sort of push it in kind of like that. Let me try and illustrate that better. Try to push it in kind of like this as you're going in, with that bit in first, going from that side, and hopefully the rest will just clip into place and it'll go into the two holes below. Very, very awkward, very difficult, but we got there. We absolutely did get there. So we can get rid of the saucer section again for now. And what we can do is we can bring back the Cobra head. There it is, our lovely Cobra head. So we're returning to the battle section build. We're going to take the left lower neck panel and we're going to push it into place. So we need to know which is the left and which is the right, because apologies for that awkward cut there. My camera decided to stop recording for some reason or other. Let's just check which is the left and which is the right here. Just because we don't want to get it on the wrong way and it be upside down or anything. So 44H is the left lower panel, which I believe is that one, and that's the right hand one. Okay, so. Oh, yeah, that makes sense, actually, because you want Enterprise to face that way. Okay, let's just pop that on there. You know, it said this was a short stage, but just in terms of getting that particular panel on, it was anything but short. It was actually awkward and horrible, and I never want to do it again. This is me just in full SAS mode now. I'm just sort of like, yeah, I'm mildly irritated and frustrated. I'm going to be whiny about it, but no. There we go. So that's on there, and you can see we've got the lovely word Enterprise. How have we? We can focus. You can see we've got Enterprise on there, and let's do the other side now. But yeah, so just going back to that bit before, just be careful and patient with it. That's the best thing you can do in any of these situations where maybe the build is proven to be a bit frustrating. You've just got to really kind of not let that frustration get the better of you and just be a little bit patient with it, because it's not the toughest thing in the world to resolve. It's just getting, like, trying and trying again. That doesn't seem to be going on fully, but yeah, that needs a bit of work there, so let me just take that off. Try that again. Right, let's try this. Oh, the spokes came off. That's not good at all. That's very fragile. That would explain a lot for this bit then, as to why it won't go in properly. I'm going to have to, I think I'm going to have to super glue that down, because that has, that is very, very fragile. I'm not impressed with that at all. I might have to arrange for a replacement of that, because that is, that's incredibly disappointing. I don't like to be too negative when it comes to these things, but when you've got a part that just breaks off like that in the model itself, you know, it's not right. You pay so much for this thing. Let me try and get that out. I'll try and get that out on the other, in my free time, but that is pretty lodged in there now. I'm going to have to super glue this now. As you can see, it fits in there, like it's all the way around, but it doesn't look great up that end. So it's done. You can see that it does indeed say Enterprise, but this side's just very, very fragile. So that's quite a disappointing end to stage 44. I'm sorry about that. Like I say, I never want these things to be negative. I always want this to be quite a positive build, but I always say I try to keep in any sort of mistakes or errors, because I want you all to see the honest part of this. And that is the honest part of it. That's going to require some plastic glue, which I think we do have. So yeah, that's the end of stage 44. Now, what I think we're going to do, because a few of my videos have been a little bit delayed, we're going to leave it there for now, especially because of the stress we had getting that panel on, as well as this little mistake here. I'm going to end the video now, because I think we've already reached about half an hour or so, and we're going to resume stage 45 and 46 in a different video. So what we're going to see in 45 and 46 is we're going to fit another PCB onto the saucer, and then we're also going to have a look at yeah, more panels, of course, and we've also got something for one of the nacelles. So what I'll do, I'll leave it there for now, and I'll see you again in the next video. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch this. I can only apologise for the way this kind of ended, with this bit here not being ship shape, I guess would be the appropriate phrase for it. But that's the way these things go. I'll get that sorted. I'll get that glued down. Right, until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.